Hello, Arizona, and welcome to this episode of 22 Minutes with Jason and Stefan. I am Jason Bates, bringing you the lender side of things. And he, as you saw from the pre-show, he is Stefan Cotton. He is bringing us the realtor side of things. And we, together, hope to not only entertain you, but also bring you that valuable content that hopefully you're looking for when you're looking to buy, sell, or refinance property. So we want to be your resource for that. And certainly if you're looking to do that, we want to also earn your business. So please reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you about your situation and help you with your American dream of homeownership. So please reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you. Speaking of which, I did a video on home equity loans about a year and a half ago. I think it's got like 4,000 views now, which is pretty good for me. Wow. I think that's kind of good. I got a guy from Chicago that reached out to me, so it works. So call me. I'd love to talk to you, or call Stefan. We both would love to talk to you about your situation.
So I'm just going to throw this out there too, because there might be somebody that's interested. You know, a home equity line of credit is somewhere between like 5% or around there, a little higher, maybe a little lower. But our investment company side pays 12%. So if you're looking to get a higher rate of return, you could use equity from your home, invest into our flipping side of the business, and gain 7% or more on your equity of the home.
Yeah,
have us pay off that and put a little bit of money in your pocket.
Good point. Hey, let's. We got some things we want to talk about. This is the Trending Tuesday episode of 22 Minutes. But before we get to those trends, let's get to today's tweet quote of the day. All right, today's tweet quote of the day brought to us by Nelson Mandela. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. And I thought this was a little appropriate for the people who are having frustration in getting their offer accepted. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today. And so I thought, well, you know, this is a good segue, not only for the low inventory situation that's out there, but also for the people who are having frustration when it comes to getting their mortgage approved. I'm coming across quite a few people who have lower credit scores, and they're wanting to get into the mortgage game, right? Or they want to own a home. And I'm finding that they're not getting good education when it comes to what they need to do. They have talked to a couple different lenders, and they may get a couple different answers or a few different answers as to what they should be doing, or they may not get any direction whatsoever, which is pretty frustrating for the consumer.
We have that credit guy, you know, that credit educator. He was a great guy on our show. I mean, I'd love to have him on here once a month or something, but
yeah, Derek Vogel with Credit Absolute. Yeah. He's in Mexico at a wedding right now. Kind of jealous right now. His Facebook pictures, man. I'm friends with him on Facebook, and he's having a good old time surfing and doing all kinds of stuff right now. So good for him.
I need to meet up with him too, because I want to create my business credit. So
yeah, absolutely.
He can help us out there. So
absolutely. All right, this is the Trending Tuesday. So let's get right into it, because I want to get your opinion on a couple of these things. So let's do it.
Sure.
In this morning about the housing market.
Hey, I'm going to pause that real quick. This, and just kind of give a preface to this. This is a news report that you sent to me, Stefan. I thought this was perfect, man. And hopefully it's big enough for everybody to see. If not, let me know, and I can probably blow it up. But you can see it good?
So I don't care about anybody else. Well, for me. No.
I don't know when this came out, but I think it came out like a couple days ago or whatever.
Yeah.
So this is speaking to that inventory. So let's take a listen. I can pause it. Tell me to pause or whatever you want me to do while this is playing.
Revealing a pretty shocking trend. The number of homes for sale hasn't been this thin in 20 years. Nohelani Graff is in Gilbert, breaking it all down for us.
Right? Oh my gosh, that is 20 years.
Yeah, good. 20 years, 1997. My goodness, that's when the Phoenix Suns had a good basketball team, right?
Yeah, that's when Charles Barkley. Hey, that's the year I probably applied to become a Phoenix police officer. I actually did
Oh,
that.
okay.
The more you know.
Right.
Yeah, right. All right, let's continue on with the story.
No
here.
hay.
So we're getting two perspectives out of this study. One, it's shaping up to be a real seller's market, but also a competitive one. And first-time home buyers are up against the biggest challenge. These numbers coming in from Trulia and Realtor.com, breaking it all down. Overall, the Valley is seeing an 18% drop in inventory. Number of starter homes cut in half compared to 5 years ago, dropping from about 6,200 homes to just 3,400 homes up for sale right now. And those starter homes are also seeing the largest price increase. In 2012, a home that you could have bought then for $70,000 today is going to cost you about $155,000.
Hey, I want to stop it right there because there's a lot of information packed in this short little deal here. First of all, the number of homes for sale, 3,400. I don't know if that starter homes, yes, 3,400 starter homes for the first-time home buyer, which that's where we've seen a lot of pain anyway with first-time home buyers, right?
So just to put this into perspective, that's Maricopa County, right? That's not just Phoenix Metro, because she's down there in Gilbert. There's how many millions of people that live here? Probably 1 million houses.
3 million, I think, is our population, or close to it.
Yeah, so let's call it 800,000 houses. I don't know, but let's say there's 4 people per house on average or something. But that means that we have less than 1% of 1% is pretty close to there. Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
For starter homes. And starter homes are for people for FHA buyers and things like that. But the other thing was that 70K, man. I was telling everybody to buy a house. You could buy a house with a pool for 70K.
Oh, it was crazy. It was crazy. I remember having conversations in our office that, hey, if you want to do $1 million in volume, you got to close 10 loans.
Yeah.
Right. You got to not even 10. I mean, was it 10 loans? I think it was maybe more than that because our average loan size was like $70,000. I mean, it was really, really low to the point where we were under fair lending because of the cost of loans. We couldn't do some of these loans.
Right. It's like 60K or 50K or something because of the just so everybody knows the reason why, and I'll explain it, then you can correct me because you're the lending side, but here's how I explain it to the buyers. Because there's fixed costs. And the fixed cost of like $1,400 for the loan or something, $400 for the VA at that, or for the appraisal, $450 for the appraisal. Those are fixed costs that you can't change regardless of stuff. So, and a few other items, right? But so you have $1,800 there, and you have a rule of you can't charge 3% of the purchase price and loan costs or something like it's some number like that, right?
Section 32. It's like 6% total cost. So the cost to get that loan, 6%. The cost cannot exceed 6% of what you're trying to get.
Right.
So
at a $50,000 house, that's only $3,000 when $2,200 of it's already taken with just these fixed costs, not counting your closing costs.
Right.
We're in trouble.
Yeah, that's predatory lending, considered to be predatory lending when you're overcharging or perceived to be overcharging for things. But again, these costs are real. I mean, appraisal is an appraisal, whether it's a $500,000 home or a $50,000 home. So, it was a big big challenge. That's why I think we saw a lot of investors come into Arizona and purchase these properties because they were so, rock bottom priced that it was ridiculous. I mean, it was really ridiculous.
I want to talk about the investor side too, just for a second, because I want to start investing in properties. So if I put 20% down as an investor,
if you're buying an investment property, you can put as little as 15% down with the correct.
On your first one.
Yeah. On the next one too. I mean, that was increased about a year ago when mortgage insurance companies said, "Hey, we'll insure those lower down payment deals because you need 20% to avoid the mortgage insurance, right?"
Right.
Well, mortgage insurance companies were insuring investment properties. They've now started to get back in the game because Fannie Mae will actually only requires 10% down, but you couldn't get the mortgage insurance companies to insure.
Right. So let's say let's just make it simple. I don't want to pay the mortgage insurance, right? Because that's another $100 a month.
Yep.
So I put 20% down on a $70,000 home. So I put $14,000 down.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting a loan for $5,400. My mortgage payment's under $600 easily, right?
Yeah.
Probably 4 or 5 or something. without getting specifics with whatever the interest rate was back then too. But so I'm paying $500 a month, but I could put somebody in there for $900 a month.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm cash flowing $400 a month. Add that throughout the whole year, that's $5,000 or $4,800 on my original $14,000.
Yeah.
So that's that's like a 30 some percent rate of return on my investment.
Yeah. No,
and that's what people were doing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's phenomenal numbers. I mean, it really, really worked out. And that's why we saw companies coming in and buying these houses in bulk. We had a TV show here, for crying out loud. I mean, had several TV shows that were based out of here. So it was a bit ridiculous. Now we're seeing, because of the price increase, we have the slide on on here, you know, starter home comparison now, instead of it being 70,000, is now doubled at 155,000. I would even question that number, to be quite honest with you. I think it's a little bit higher than that.
I'm trying to find $150,000 houses all the time. I can't find any. So where are they getting this number?
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is a rolling 12 or something, 12 months where they got this number. But if you're looking for a house for 155, you are competing against 15 other buyers on every freaking property.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But
multiple offers. Yeah.
So that's what this is talking about. It's more competitive. But we had a house. We just sold a house for it's in escrow right now for 147 or something. One of our flip houses we picked up for 114. And it got a lot of action, probably 8-9 people in there. And then, we had 2 or 3 offers on it. So
yeah, this price point, I mean, it's very, very competitive. Now we've talked about wages, right? They still haven't caught up. Although, $155,000, you can make $10 an hour and have very little debt and afford this home. Especially if you have 2 people making $10 an hour, you certainly can afford this home with very little debt. So that makes it very, very attractive. Pulls more people in.
And I was going to say, and you're going to pay that for rent anyway. I mean, what you pay for 155 is what you're paying for rent, if not less than what you're paying for rent. So
yeah, absolutely. All right, let's continue on here.
Realtors say it's timing.
People are just now getting to the point where they can start to sell and move up and reap the benefits.
Now,
hey, I want to say something. I know that guy, Derek.
Famous name dropper.
No, he's I met him at an open house, actually. He's supposed to call me back, and he hasn't called me back. So I'm gonna definitely call him out.
Awkward. How many days?
It's been a long time, man.
It's been
like 2 weeks.
Days. Oh wow, yeah. That's
I've called him twice. Hey, but yeah. I'm calling him out, man. The thing is, like, if I were not to call people back, guess what? I'd be out of business, right?
Right.
But anyway,
he's on TV.
He's on Skype or something like that, but all right.
Good news for sellers, there is no shortage of people who want to buy, but keep this in mind, they don't want a fixer-upper. So get those upgrades taken care of. Also, they're looking for homes under $250,000. And the inventory is down on those, but not as sharply. About 5,400 homes on the market in the Valley, where the average price is about $232,000, although a house that size would have cost you $130,000 5 years ago.
Still
crazy, right?
Right. I saw
5 years, $100,000, Stefan, or $90,000 in 5 years.
Remember, so 5 years ago, let me tell you how this thing has whole switched around. 5 years ago, when I'm showing a house for $130,000, the question I always got from the buyer was, how much did it sell for in 2006? Or 2007, because they want to say, oh, somebody paid $300 for this. Now I'm getting it for $130. So now, and I had an investor probably about a month ago ask me, well, how much did they pay for it in 2012? So it's the whole mind shift is like, because now there's equity versus.
Yeah. Maybe that's kind of
a square foot. Yeah.
Maybe that's kind of fueling this whole notion of buyers not facing the reality that they should have jumped in sooner. Number one. Number two, there's still a lot of buyers out there looking for these like ridiculously low rock bottom bargains. Right.
Yeah.
And it makes it very, very frustrating. It can be insulting to the seller, and we're in a seller's market, really.
Yeah.
Right. So, so it's kind of crazy, man. It's kind of crazy what this is kind of fueling. You're right. You're right on the money, man. With people kind of shifting and saying, "What did this house sell for in 2012?"
Right.
Kind of thing. So
just a frenzy right now in the Valley. There's a couple zip codes in Peoria that are some of the hottest in the country, but really the Southeast Valley.
And this is one of the most interesting parts of this study, how quickly
blurred that
homes
out.
are selling in Gilbert, about a month and a half. In Peoria, homes are off the market in about 3 weeks. In Gilbert, I'm Nohelani Graff, ABC 15.
Oh,
There you go. There's a Scottsdale water park thing.
oh, the water park. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a commercial. I couldn't cut it in time, but so anyway, that is man, 3 weeks.
Yeah. That's
You
good.
know, you know what's so interesting to me? 3 weeks on the market, and yet we still need closing costs, seller concessions, right? Still seeing a lot of that, especially in that first time buyer. It's not a true seller's market where they're just say, hey, no concessions and getting away with it. You're still having to get those seller concessions.
Well, those that are coming in without seller's concessions are getting the offer accepted.
Yeah.
So that's the other issue. So I have a listing, that one that we saw in the pre-show. Goodyear, we got a really close to full price offer, and they wanted concessions. And my seller says, "Why would I pay concessions if they can't afford the house? And I don't want to sell to them." You know?
Yeah.
But,
All right.
I talked him into it at full price. Anyways, we're waiting for the counter. So who knows? But
Yeah.
anyways.
Who knows? Next thing that's kind of trending here in the Valley is the help wanted, the job market. Job market is projected to double. Phoenix job growth projected to double the U.S. average. This has been something that economists have been kind of predicting beginning of the year, end of last year, that Phoenix was going to be hot in the job market.
Right.
So it says
I see signs everywhere. Yeah.
I know.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say Phoenix is expected to see a 2.8% job growth this year, up from 1.5% in 2016. So that's a number. That's significant. That is significant. Almost double.
I see,
You know?
not just like the fast food places. I see everywhere that I go, everywhere I stop says, "Hey, we're hiring." And then we have these new over here on the west side. You know, he talked about the southeast side, but the west side's booming. You know, Buckeye and the 303, and we see a bunch of like warehouse areas. And I know they're going to be hiring. They're being built up, like probably 40, like a little warehouse, entryways.
Yeah.
It's going to be big business, and we're going to need we're going to need more housing, and two, we're going to need more people to pay to get these people in.
Well, how much do you think that this job market is related to psychologically, maybe, to the election? You think there's any correlation there, or is this just a natural kind of thing? It feels like on our side, we talked about Dodd-Frank rewrite and some of these other things. It feels like on our side that a great weight has been lifted off of big corporations' shoulders, at least on our side of the fence. Mortgage.
It hasn't happened yet, though. I mean, it's all
hasn't
been approved and it hasn't started, so I don't think it's happened yet. What the stuff, those changes aren't going to probably happen fiscally for another year. So what we see now is already just stuff that we had in motion. The fact that another thing is my aunt works in Canada, but she works specifically with America and Canada, and I don't know what her full business is, but I know that when Trump got elected, I was visiting with her, and she was saying that it all depends on what Trump does with NAFTA versus how our next year is going to look. Because the way it's set up now, we were going to do this, this, and this, but if he's going to remove those, free trades, then it's going to really hurt their business. And he said that he wasn't going to. So their business is doing fine. So I guess the word on the street is just, if he does help us on our stuff, and maybe this is a good thing. Maybe the haters can hate, but he's doing some good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's something kind of in the air. I'm not quite sure what it is. I don't know if it's politics or just a feeling of change kind of thing. We've been in that, 8 years of a certain, presidency, and we had certain policies and things like that. Now we've got big change possibly coming, and that anticipation maybe is fueling this a little bit. And once that gets fueled, it's going to be hard to stop. I think, anyway.
Right.
So anyway, Phoenix being a top job market, it's going to be good. And I think these jobs here, especially we've seen some from Intel and some of these other corporations that are here locally, Motorola, that sort of thing. These are
Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon. These are high-paying jobs. These aren't your $10 an hour jobs either. So I think that's important to note. These are good-paying jobs. They've got the place down in Casa Grande, building possibly the batteries for electric cars, that sort of thing. So we've got some good, sustainable jobs. These aren't temporary kind of touristy kind of jobs that Phoenix is known for. These are good, sustainable jobs. So good news on the job front. That's the true success to a recovery, both in housing and our economy, of course. So that's good news.
I know there's like a job fair too. My wife brought up a job fair. I don't think she's trying to get me to switch careers, but I think she mentioned it out of the blue.
You're right. Bashes today. Yeah. And what surprised me about that, Bashes, and they're cashiers, clerks, that sort of thing, and some management positions or whatever. But what surprised me about that report there, if this is the one that your wife is talking about, is the sheer number of people they're going to be hiring. 300.
Right. Yeah.
So 300 for a grocery store. That's a big number for and they're locally owned, I think, right? Bashes, aren't they a locally owned company?
I don't know. I don't know if I've ever seen them anywhere else, so I would assume so, maybe. But
yeah, I think they're a locally owned company. So that's good. Good numbers there. So, all right. Well, that's, I think we covered
our show. Yeah.
Yeah, we covered what we needed to cover today on Trending Tuesday. So thank you all for watching our show today. Appreciate you taking time out of your day to listen to what we had to say. And as I said at the beginning of the show, if you're looking to buy, sell, refinance property, or even invest in property, please reach out to either myself or Stefan. We'd love to help you and represent you in that American dream, for sure.
If you think we're smart on the show, wait till you get in front of us.
Right. Yeah, right. And then we show our true colors.
Yeah. And it's your true colors.
All right. Easy. We'll get cut off.
Right. Oh, yeah. Too good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's too good, man. That was too good.
Too good.
We'll be put in Facebook jail for plagiarizing.
Right.
All right. Hey, thank you again, everyone, for staying with us during this episode. If you're watching the replay, hey, consider subscribing to the channel and sharing with your friends and family. And please reach out to us. Good, bad, or indifferent. We want to hear from you. We want more participation from you. So please reach out to us. I'm going to hopefully get the Facebook thing going here. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and end today's show. So everyone have a great day. And we hope to see you out there shopping for a home very soon. Take care, everyone.
Some great content, Jason. Thanks.
All right, buddy.